Well, with so many outlets to choose from now, it's more important than ever for people involved in agriculture to receive appropriate media training.
Well, that's why the Georgia Peanut Commission recently hosted a training seminar in Tifton that was aimed at giving farmers tips on how to properly handle interviews. Damon Jones has that story.
Whether it's sharing on television, radio, or even social media, farmers and all those involved in agriculture are vital to the success of the industry as they are the ones spreading its story. And that's why media training sessions like this one recently held at the Nest Ball building in Tifton is so important.
Well, the Georgia Peanut Commission is hosting media training for peanut farmers and extension agents and young farmer advisors. And we hope that this will benefit them to be more prepared for interviews, whether it's with the TV station or local newspaper or radio broadcaster.
Those in attendance received tips on how to handle interviews, what questions to ask, and what to share on their social media pages. It's all in an effort to provide the best way to relate to the public.
Well, you want to look like an intelligent, well-informed person when you make those kind of comments, and so being able to relate to people in ways that they'd understand what we're trying to do as farmers and agriculturalists is the main key.
And one of the main reasons getting correct information out to the public is so vital is because there is now such a misunderstanding about the industry as people get further and further removed from the farm.
I mean, if anybody's on social media today, you can see all kinds of misinformation out there, things that are just made up, or people who have problems with certain agricultural organizations, and being able to communicate with those people or people that may be following that stuff and letting them know the true story and what's really going on in agriculture is important.
And what better people to hear it from than those who are around it each and every day. It's why knowing how to handle yourself in interviews is becoming an essential skill.
I think it's very important because, you know, a lot of times people like to hear from the farmer themselves. They like to know what is it that you're doing on the farm and why are you doing this or that and how does it help you. And so I think if we enable the farmers to be able to tell their story and tell it in the most efficient and correct way, then that will benefit all of agriculture.
And this idea came about not from the commission or government, but from farmers themselves.
And he had went through our Peanut Leadership Academy where we have a media training for those farmers, and he said that he needed a refresher course, and so he suggested that this become an activity that the Peanut Commission does.
It's a seminar that should catch on in more areas of the state, as being media savvy is important to a number of jobs within the industry.
It would be wonderful if we could implement stuff like this all across the state, where we could talk to farmers and ag teachers and extension agents and 4-H agents and really focus on training for these individuals, because it's important, because media is out there. Social media is so relevant and so popular today that I think it's extremely important that we find ways to communicate, especially with the younger generations.
Reporting from Tifton, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.